Welcome, Awakening Goddesses. This is Alishina. Today, I want to talk about the 3 reasons that your inner goddess is not yet awake. Why she's still asleep. The 3 reasons that you are still giving your power away to men that don't treat you like a goddess. To men or women that don't see you and treat you as a divine being that you are. The reasons that you're not getting the traction in your life that you want. The reasons you don't have access to the creativity that you long for in your life. And the real reason that you feel this emptiness, that you feel this void in the center of your being, the real reasons you have addictions to food or to alcohol or to people or to sex or any other method of distracting yourself. So these are the 3 reasons. Number 1, the number 1 reason your goddess is not yet awake is because you have not yet prepared your temple. You have not yet initiated the awakening through preparing your body, your temple, and your being to receive this initiation, to receive this spirit. So let me ask you, if you were to get pregnant and plan to have a baby, right? So when you have a baby, you prepare the house, right? You pick a home, you pick a room, and you go in and you strip the room and you paint the walls and you make it all clean, you make it beautiful, you put up little baby dangly things and you babify it, you get the room ready to receive this precious being in your life. And then you go through the house and you get rid of all the chemicals that you don't want in the house, and you start to kind of just prepare the whole temple, the whole house, to receive this beautiful being. And it's the same thing that we need to do in order to receive the awakening of the goddess within. You see, our bodies are polluted with thousands upon thousands of toxins. So there's a physical element of why she is not coming into your being. And you need to detoxify at a cellular level with specific types of systems to get this stuff out of your body, right? And then there's a detoxification of emotions. There's a purge of old energy that's stuck in our being. And the feminine is very energetic, right? She's very much around emotional. She's very much around feeling. And the thing we've went through, the repression of the feminine is the repression of feeling. So one of the misunderstandings of the unconscious masculine force in our world is the misunderstanding of feelings. Feelings are just energy in motion. It's really just feminine energy moving. But most of us, all of us, we have repressed energy in our bodies. And we store that in our psoas. Our psoas is the muscle of the soul. It runs underneath our abdomen, down into our hips, our legs. And it's where all the unprocessed emotion is. That processed emotion is trauma. And there's trauma release exercises you can do to purge that on your own. Me having been a survivor of severe early childhood sexual abuse, I had nearly, I would say upwards of like 500 to 600 to 700 hours of unprocessed trauma, and I'm still processing layers and layers and layers of stuff from my sexual abuse. And our bodies are incredibly wise in how the systems hold this, but they also have the ability to heal themselves. So there's ways that you can heal yourself of the repressed emotions. And the third purge, the third purification is around psychological, right? So our operating system, which is our beliefs, or what I call your paradigm, is thousands of years old, and it's outdated. Your subconscious mind was programmed by the time you were aged like 4 or 5 years old. Before you had the ability to say, yes, I believe that. No, I don't want to believe that. Your subconscious mind was already programmed with all this crap. So you need to go in and clear it out. So that's the first reason your goddess hasn't awoken, is that you haven't purified your temple. So purify your temple, detoxify all of the toxins that are in the body, go through an emotional purge, and go through needing to upgrade your operating system and clean out the thoughts that are not in resonance. And this thought system that you're purifying is part of the patriarchy. So what we're doing in kind of the spiritual woo-woo terms is we're unplugging the patriarchy. We're actually going in and we're undoing that old outdated belief system that really misunderstood and really didn't understand the full power of the feminine. He actually feared her. We'll get to that in a minute. So we move on to number 2. The second reason that your inner goddess is not yet awake is because you have not initiated the conversation to balance your masculine and feminine energies. So I don't care what sex you are, I don't care what gender you identify with, I'm very gender fluid. We all have masculine and feminine energies. So there's a way from, it's a tantric lens, from the lens of Tantra, we look at ourselves, our inner being, as really these masculine and feminine selves. And when we begin to initiate the conversation, first thing we realize is that we haven't actually initiated the conversation. So there is a him and a her in there that are struggling for power. And your masculine, for most of us, he has his foot like on her neck, right? That's one of the best metaphors my Tantra teachers have given me, is like he's got his foot on her neck. He's repressing her power because he's running from an outdated unconscious paradigm, an old operating system that's no longer in service. So what's happened is, kind of give you an overview, like say 5,000 years ago, everything was about the goddess. See, the goddess is the life force that's alive in everything, right? She is the living pulse of life, right? And without her, there is no life at all. There's no blood running through our system. There's no heart beating. There's no food that grows. There's no air. There's nothing, right? That, for me, that's what I mean by the goddess. It's the living force of everything. And it's also this great feminine sacred power that's awakening within each of us. So what happened is, many thousands of years ago, it was all about the goddess. There were goddess traditions, goddess religions. It was like, yes, we love the goddess. And then the patriarchal religions came about, Christianity and Judaism and Islam and all these more like very one God masculine systems. So they tremendously feared the power of the feminine, right? The truth is, without women, we have no life, right? Women are the only creatures on the face of the planet that can actually birth another human being. So without her, we have no humanity. And we have dethroned her from her sacred throne, from her sacred rights, from like who she actually is. So the awakening of the goddess is partly women taking back up their right to say, we exist because of me. And it's also men waking up to their own inner goddess and learning how to honor the inner feminine and bringing their masculine into balance. And from there, men know how to treat women properly in the world. So back to this masculine feminine conversation. We have a yin and a yang to both our masculine and our feminine, right? So we know the yin and the yang model. Yin is this receptive, is the more softer element, right? Where the yang is the more active, the more fiery element. So the yin is typically seen as the feminine, the yang is typically seen as the masculine, but both the masculine and feminine have each, so it's like a quadrant. So if you have the feminine side and the masculine side, on the feminine side, there's a yin element to the feminine, which is what we traditionally have known as like the weak feminine, right? She's the one that surrenders, right? But surrender is the most courageous thing that you can do, right? And she's the one that nurtures. She's the one that knows how to receive. This is more the sense of her being in the being, in the being, in her pleasure and her play. Then there's the yang feminine. The yang feminine is the force that we need on this planet right now. This is the force of the jaguar. This is the force of Kali. This is the force of Black Panther. This is the force of the lioness coming in. This is the embodiment of the darker feminine, right? This is what needs to come into the face of the planet. She's the one that looks around and says, this is not acceptable. I will not tolerate this. And she comes in and slays the unconsciousness and brings in change. So on the masculine side, we have the yin and the yang as well. The yin of the masculine is the space holder, right? He's the one that sees the feminine and holds space for her to relax so she can come into her full power. And then there's the yang masculine. The yang masculine is the force of power that we often see that's very unconscious in the world. But the yang masculine has a lot of gifts if he's connected to and in service to the feminine. Right? If he's in service of a greater vision, the yang feminine the yang masculine is extremely powerful because he's the action-oriented one. He's the one that carries out the goals. He's the doer. He's like very much this, So he penetrates. So when his penetration is in service of her vision and in service of her heart, then the world will change and we'll have the healing within and in the world that we need. We first do that by having that conversation. So we need to initiate that conversation within ourselves. Like, how is my masculine repressing my feminine? And how am I holding back my feminine? How am I actually not allowing them to come into harmony? And we do that through just contemplation, reflection, through journaling, through movement, through ways to harmonize these two energies. But it's a conversation at its core. So that's number two. So you got to balance your masculine and feminine energies. one of the cool things you can do, like most of us need to balance our feminine energy, and most of us are very disconnected. You know what the feminine wants, what the goddess really wants, what she loves is connection. So we really need to, for those of us that need to balance our energies, one great way is to actually go shopping. Go out with the girlfriends, have a Pinot Grigio night, treat yourself, try on clothes that are too expensive, go to Lush, get a bath bomb, you know, do these things that actually make us feel, like really feel into our bodies. Hug more, you know, go to a cuddle party if that's cool with you. Like do things where you actually feel and connect to what initiates the release of oxytocin. So oxytocin is the feminine hormone, the feel-good hormone that's actually dumped if you ever take like MDMA or something like this, ecstasy. Oxytocin can be initiated without, you know, taking a drug. And it's through these activities of really getting into our feminine that brings forward the release of oxytocin. So anyway, balancing masculine and feminine energies. Number 3, the third reason that your goddess is not yet awake is because you haven't yet shifted your paradigm. So we talked about the paradigm of the patriarchy. Your operating system is your paradigm. 99% of it you're completely unaware of. And the more and more you inquire, the more and more you'll see the programming that's actually repressing the power of your soul, the power of your spirit. And the way that we go in is we use the power, we learn how to reprogram our subconscious mind. So your paradigm resides in your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is the storehouse of your operating system and your subconscious beliefs. Now, what I've discovered in my journeys to Peru and working with shamans and working with a lot of different healers, the subconscious mind actually physically resides here in the solar plexus. The muscle tissue, the tissues that are here where this bundle of nerves is, where your solar plexus, this sacred center is actually the same tissue that's in your brain. See, this is our fourth brain. We actually have 3 brains up here, 3 sections, and then there's the fourth brain is this one. The subconscious mind is the feeling brain. It's the intuitive brain. It's the feminine brain. It's the seat of the goddess. It's the seat of your subconscious mind. It's the seat of your portal to infinite intelligence. So when you learn how to harness the power of the subconscious mind, read Dr. Joseph Murphy's book or work with me and I'll teach you how to use it specifically for this purpose. You learn how to dethrone or to unplug the patriarchy. You learn how to deprogram the beliefs that are keeping you disempowered. So it's one of my most favorite things to do to work with people is to teach them how to use the power of the subconscious mind. And one of the main tools we use is affirmation. So it's auto-suggestion. And this isn't just like cute affirmations like I'm pretty and I feel good. Like we use specific commands like 100 times a day to really deprogram specific beliefs you've had that are keeping you disempowered. And that's all uncovered through that conversation we have with the inner harmony of the masculine and feminine, and start to realize like what beliefs am I holding, what are the things that are keeping me back. But the foundational thing, the most important thing you need to do is really initiate that conversation to awaken the goddess. You go in and you tell your subconscious mind, so you think your subconscious mind, it's been running the same programs for the past 20, 30 years. See, I don't want to tell you my age, but I'm in my 30s, late 30s. So my programs were running for 30 years. They were programmed by the time I was age like 5 or 6, 7 years old. I was taught it wasn't safe to be in my feminine. I was taught it wasn't safe to have attractions towards men. It wasn't safe to be in my spiritual superpower. So I had to go in and reprogram these. If we simply go in and program our subconscious mind to awaken our goddess, if you simply have that affirmation, you program your subconscious mind, I want you to wake up, I want you to be in service to me, and I want you to awaken my inner goddess and come forward. And if you detoxify and you purify and you do all these 3 steps by purifying your system, by preparing your temple to receive, and you're starting that conversation between your masculine and feminine, and you're programming your subconscious mind, you will awaken. Those are the simple things that I use. The most powerful foundational tools that I use in my sacred transformational system for goddess awakenings. If you want to work with me, I offer a free goddess awakening session for you to experience and connect to your inner goddess, to your sacred power, and for you to really get a vision for what it's like to live, what it will be like to live as your fully liberated and awakened goddess. And I'll show you the blockages that need to be healed and show you a roadmap for what it will take to get from where you are now to living as your liberated and awakened, fully embodied goddess. If you're interested in that, you can go through the apply link at goddessawakenings.com. I am Alishina. My prayers for you is to fully awaken to your inner goddess, for you to be fully embodied in your sacred power, and for you to have the tools for you to direct your destiny, to live your soul's vision. That is my wish for you. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Will you let me see? Let me feel your precious heart. Will you let me near? Let me heal your breaking heart.